Hey everybody, back here on YouTube. I know it's been a while, but I'm ready to go. Got the midterms coming up in a couple weeks, so I want to start getting some more content out there. I will be voting just as I did back in 2020. So I want to talk about some of the interesting developments that I've been seeing just when it comes to voting, when it comes to the direction that people are leaning. People have been talking about a red wave quite a bit. I believe that a red wave is coming. It could end up being a tsunami with the kind of candidates that the Republicans are putting up versus the candidates that the Democrats are putting out. I saw the debate last night between Dr. Oz and John Fetterman. It was a train wreck for John Fetterman. I feel bad for Fetterman. He's clearly not in good health. But I just find it amazing if the Democrats thought that putting somebody out on a debate stage as the face of their party for their state, who can barely string a sentence together. The idea that they would put that kind of a candidate out there, really to me, just an insult. It's an insult to the voters of Pennsylvania. The voters deserve better than what they got. It's very disappointing. But the strategy of hiding candidates in their basements like they did with Joe Biden in 2020, it's not going to work this time around. People are hip to the game. They see the major issues that are going on in this country, and Democrat strategy continues to just be hide away. Don't talk. Don't do any debates. Let's just keep quiet until people go and cast their ballots, and then after they vote us in, then they'll know what our policies are. People are done with that. Which brings me to my point of the way things are trending as far as the vote this time around in 2022. A huge demographic that I'm seeing that is shifting in favor of the Republicans and just overall conservative values is the Hispanic vote. Now, if you look at the Hispanic vote, liberals and Democrats really like to push this idea that Hispanics are just down for open borders and and people just running across the border illegally because they look like them. But that's not how Hispanics think. This projection that the Democrats have put on Hispanic voters of it doesn't matter if someone's here legally or not. In the end, if they're all the same race or they look alike, that they're all Hispanic, then it's fine. They're the legal residents, Hispanic residents of the U.S. are they're all for it. But that's not true. People want safety. They want security in their towns. They want opportunity for growth, opportunity for economic advancement. And when you see inflation the way that it is, when you see the cost of gas, when you see just the crime that is skyrocketed across our country, you see the drugs that have come into our country, most of it, all this fentanyl that's coming across the southern border into this country, and you see the people. I've seen some of these videos on TV of people who have lost friends and family members to fentanyl overdoses, and it's sad. It's a shame. And this open borders nonsense is just not helping anyone. Which is why I don't understand why the Democrats continue to take this stand of just chaos, disorder, lawlessness. Hispanic voters don't want that. Hispanic voters want what any other voters would want in this country. They want safety. They want security. They want the freedom to make their own decisions without the government getting involved in every single thing that they're doing. And the Democrat Party isn't offering that. Instead, what the Democrat Party is offering is all this LGBTQ agenda, all this abortion on demand stuff, and the majority of Hispanics are Catholic. And in Catholicism, they don't support LGBTQ, they don't support abortion. These are things that go against Hispanic culture. So, just to give you a perspective of just how much things have changed from a voting standpoint, the direction of the Hispanic vote from 2020 to 2022 that we're in, there's an interesting article that I found online from NPR.com or NPR.org, and the title reads like this: Democrats are losing Latino voters as Republicans eye opportunities these midterms. And this was just released on the 24th, so 2 days ago. So reading it. Recent polling shows a majority of Latino voters plan to vote Democratic candidates in next month's midterm elections, continuing a trend that has held for decades. But that support is on the decline. While Democrat strategists have renewed pledges to woo Latino voters, Republicans are making inroads to appeal to the second largest and fastest growing group in the U.S. electorate. Democrat strategist Chuck Rocha worked on both of Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders' presidential runs and told NPR that while Senate campaigns have been airing Spanish language ads for more than 6 months, a lack of outreach in races for the House of Representatives could cost the party a majority there. It's very important for folks to know Democrats are going to win the Latino vote and Latino voters, Rocha said about the November midterms. But what's happening is we're losing a little support, a little at a time, to Republicans. A recent poll from Washington Post, Ipsos poll, shows that Democrats have a 27-point advantage with voters who identify as Hispanic. That's a generous margin, but it's down significantly from the nearly 40-point advantage the party had in 2018. And I'm going to stop right there. So, you realize in 2 years, they have lost 13% based on polling, and obviously polling can be skewed, but based on polling, they've lost a 40-point advantage. If the 40-point advantage has gone down to 27, that is very significant. It means that the Democrats are hemorrhaging Hispanic votes, and I believe they're hemorrhaging these votes because of the points I made earlier. It's more of an emphasis on LGBTQ, more of an emphasis on abortion, and the Democrat Party, in many ways, has become the party of Marxism. It's become an anti-family party, and Hispanic culture is very focused on family. Family is a huge part of Hispanic culture. Now, some cultures, family is more significant than others. I think here in Western culture, family is becoming less of a significant thing. But for Hispanic culture, it's a huge part of who they are. So when you have a party that's constantly getting on this abortion on demand argument, pushing LGBTQ, which obviously you can't reproduce in that community, but this constant pushing of these things on Hispanics are rejecting it. And in many ways, black people are rejecting it as well. I mean, I go back to, if you look at the climb of votes, if you will, for black voters. Back in 2008, Barack Obama got 96% of the black vote. 2012, he gets 8% of the black vote. Donald Trump he got 8% of the black vote as well in 2016, but his support goes from 8% up to 12% of the black vote. And you think about all the negative ads that were put out there about Trump and he's a white supremacist and all this other stuff, all those ads that went out, and Trump's support went up 4%. So there's a trend going on here of minorities that are getting hip to this game that the left loves to play, where they want to keep talking about racism, white supremacy, all this thing, but they don't talk about policy. Policy is not something you discuss. They don't talk about policy. It's always, these people are bad, don't vote for bad people, vote for us, even though we're the ones pushing policies that are bad for the country, and we're the ones telling you that you shouldn't have any say in what your kids are learning in schools. So we'll indoctrinate your kids, we'll teach them all this woke teaching. We won't focus on the basics in school, like reading, writing, math, science. We're not going to talk about those things. We're going to talk about the importance of all the various genders that are out there. That's not important. That's not the kind of stuff that should be being taught in schools. If parents want to teach their kids those things on their own time, that's one thing. You're the parent, you make the decision. But you're seeing why Glenn Youngkin won in Virginia, for example, because he wants to give the power back to the parents. And Democrats, in many ways, have hoped that their whole Roe v. Wade situation would really invigorate their base and get new voters. So far, the polls aren't showing that. At this point, I pretty much think the people that are going to go out and vote over the Roe v. Wade decision are the same people who would have voted anyways over those issues. Like, this is not something that they're gaining new voters over. The same people that were voting for abortion are the same people that are going to be voting in 2022. But when you have people who are saying, we're really concerned about inflation, we're really concerned about the reckless spending in Washington, we're really concerned about crime, We're very concerned about the quality of our kids' education. We don't want any more lockdowns. We don't want that stuff. It hasn't helped our children. And to be told over and over again, well, you know, we're really out to push trans rights. Okay, but that's not what our what's not what our community wants. What we really want is we want you to focus on what we want. We want you to represent us, their state representatives. And more of these people aren't understanding what they're supposed to be doing, which is representing their state, representing their constituency, and they're not doing it. So my prediction for the election on November 8th, I think the Republicans, it's a slam dunk for me that they're going to win the House. I think there's a good chance of them winning the Senate. I think just the focus the Republicans need to take going forward is really just focusing on family values, classic American values, great American values, faith in God, faith in country, faith in your family. Like, not faith in government, but believing that the people around you are generally good people who want to help, not looking at people as enemies. There's so much division going on in our country, and it's time for us to start ending that division, time for people to legitimately reach across party lines to bring some sanity back. These are just insane agendas that are being pushed by the left. They're being rejected, and I look forward to what comes on November 8th. I hope you all get out and vote. There'll be more videos to come. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.